Hi everybody, welcome to Awake and Aware Eating and Living Daily Reflection. It is 8:25 right now p.m. and this is late for me, people. I'm normally in bed by now, and whenever I tell people that, they're like, "What?" But I do. I go to bed between 8:30 and 9 over the summer. And in the winter I go to bed between 8 and 8:30, and then I wake up usually between 4 and 5 in the summer, and I wake up between 3 and 4 in the winter, and it's just the way my body rolls. So once I let go of addictive substances, once I let go of processed foods and sugar and flour and wheat and caffeine, my body came to a natural rhythm, its natural rhythm. And it was really important for me to honor that. And so it's late for me right now, but I wanted to do day 6. So today's day 6, and I have a lot of energy. And I want to talk about a couple of things around that. I have more energy than I typically have, and that I can remember having in a while. And I think there's 2 reasons for that. One is I've completely let go of caffeine. And now, hearing myself even say that, I think, why would letting go of caffeine give me more energy? Well, my experience with caffeine is that I get an initial charge of energy when I use it, but then I get a drop. And I have read the research. Caffeine spikes dopamine for many people, just like sugar does, and cocaine does, and alcohol does, and nicotine does. Well, caffeine does too. And I think what happens to me, and maybe this happens to you too, is when I have caffeine, it spikes up my dopamine, and then my brain tries to protect itself because the dopamine level gets too high, and it drops it. And I'm tired, I'm lethargic, I don't feel good. I don't feel good in my skin. So I've been totally off caffeine too, even decaf coffee, because decaf coffee has some caffeine in it. I've been off of it now. It's day 6, and I have a lot of energy. I think the other thing, and the thing I wanted to talk about a little bit more, is another reason that I think I have so much energy, and that's because my husband, Jim, who I love dearly, he's out of town. And so one of the things I've noticed when Jim goes out of town and I have the whole house to myself is I'm not thinking about what Jim is thinking and how Jim is doing and what Jim needs. And I have gotten so much better at this when he is home than I used to be. And I call this my codependency. But when Jim is home, there is some part of my brain, even though he is not asking me to do this, that's wondering, is he okay? Does he need me? Does he want anything? Or he's asking me simple questions like, do you want to take a walk? And I'm like, do I? Do I want to take a walk? Does he want to take a walk? When does he want to take a walk? And all of that processing of leaving myself, which is what my codependency is, leaving myself, my reality, my experience of life, and going into somebody else's head, somebody else's experience of life, or trying to. I really can't do that, but trying to, taking my focus, taking my concentration and my energy and putting it onto somebody else is exhausting. And so because he's not here, I'm not doing that, and I have all this energy. And so I could do a couple of things. I thought, well, I could live in a different house than Jim, which I probably wouldn't like long-termly. I think the better option is to learn to develop the ability to live with somebody else and not be thinking about what they're thinking. To not leave me, to not leave my head and think about what they're thinking. And so I'm going to practice that. It's going to be a really cool experiment that I'm going to do. I'm going to really practice it, learn it, cultivate it, develop it when Jim gets back. And I've already come up with some strategies of how I'm going to do that. I thought of often Jim and I are home at the same time during the day. And I thought of having, like, in the morning, maybe like a silent zone where we're not talking to each other, like we can do our own thing, and then like meeting up at lunch, and then maybe having another quiet zone in the afternoon, and then meeting up for dinner. And so coming up with strategies, because part of the reason, and there's many, many reasons, mostly because I have a biochemical condition called food addiction. But part of the reason that I overeat and that I turn to food is because I get tired out. I just get depleted. And I want more food, which makes sense. It's like if your energy's gone and you're still up and you're still moving around, the body's going to want something to give it more energy. And unfortunately, that works for most people, but for me, I can't do that, because when I start to eat a little bit more than my plan, I eat a lot more. It just happens. I have too much history of that. I've tried to change it. I can't. So the solution that works best for me is to just stay with my plan and to manage my life and my energy to fit my plan, instead of trying to just live my life unconsciously and then, eat whenever I feel like it. I just can't do that. I don't have the luxury of doing that because it really harms me. So just some more information, some more reflection on day 6 of following my plan to the letter, not using any caffeine at all, even in the form of decaf coffee. And, what's coming to me. And what's coming to me is energy and vitality and clarity of mind. Some projects I've been putting off just came to me today, like quickly in a few minutes. So there's so many gifts with eating in a way that nourishes and enhances our life. So many gifts, even though I know how hard it is, especially to get started, because it's so different from what others are doing around us for the most part. But that's it for today. I am going to be off to bed now. I'm going to wash my face, brush my teeth, and go to bed. But I hope you have a lot of awakening and awareness today. And I hope you give yourself permission to take really good care of yourself, whatever that means for you. And if you're not to that stage yet, I hope you're willing to start discovering what taking really good care of yourself means to you. So until the next time.